Why? Hiring the right people, just having the right tools is not enough to create great outcomes in your company. In this video, you're going to learn why the right people matter more than great tools. You see, it was a while ago when I thought that the best system, the best accounting system, the best project management system, the most expensive one that I could afford, was going to take care of my people issue. And I was so wrong. I was so wrong because it is important to invest the time, the energy. It's a lot more. You have to be able to find the right players, the right people. And I'm going to give you three clear things you can do to make sure that your company, you're receiving in your company the outcomes that you want. One of them is choosing the right people. The other one is building the right culture. And the other one is creating a mentor of mine talks about a yellow brick road. And let me explain what I mean. Choosing the right people means deciding that you want A players in your team. A players like to be measured. A players like to score a goal, an A. They want to know how they're doing. They are excited about success, and it doesn't matter what it takes to get there. A players don't need to be dragged across the finish line. A players are humble. And what I mean by humble is that they ask for help when they need to. A players like to solve problems, and A players are hungry to be successful. For me, that was a super learning curve. How do I make sure that I hire A players in my business? I had to learn the hard way because I used to hire people based on people that I liked. I don't know, people that I thought had the given the opportunity. Like me, when I was given an opportunity, I was so grateful and I wanted to do a good job. So I felt like if I gave an opportunity to somebody, they would appreciate it and they would work really hard, like I did when I came to this country. I came to this country and I wanted to work in construction in my profession. And so when I was given the first opportunity, I had just delivered my baby and I needed to find a way to work because we needed it financially. And my baby deserved all kinds of opportunities. I was hungry to make it in this country. I was determined to make it. I was determined to do whatever it took. I had just started my master's program and I decided I'm going to work as well. So the first time I got a call about a construction project career, about an opportunity in a construction project, a federal project. I mean, I was so surprised that for me, I mean, this is how I thought. For me, only the job. I didn't care how much I was going to make. To me, that was not the priority. The priority for me was, maybe I was wrong, but for me, it was the fact that I was going to learn and that I was going to have a chance to make a difference. So having the right player with that energy, with the clarity that given an opportunity, they're going to do whatever it takes to solve problems. You see, our industry, I firmly believe that what we do here, what we get paid for, is to solve problems, not to create problems. Anticipate problems and solve them, not solving them with a complaining attitude. Complaining. No, solving problems to make a difference. And what the difference is, finish a job on time and on budget. That is why we get paid. That is why we get hired, to make a client happy. And you're the business owner, let's say, or the leader in for a project. What would you want best? For everyone in your team to align with the same vision, the same mission, and for everyone in your team to be an A player, a problem solver, or better, anticipate and plan not to even have a problem. But I'm convinced that you can have the best tools, the best schedule, but if you don't have the right people, it's going to be tough. And when I mean people, I not only mean the people in your team, I also mean the people outside of your team, the trade partners, the consultants you have. People align with your mission and the client's mission to be successful. It's so important. Now, you say, how do I hire the right people? That's a great question. Skills, they matter. The talent matters. Being humble matters. You want to have what they call a scorecard. You want to do a good job at defining clearly what is the expectation for this person on this role to score an A or get to the objective that you have already defined. You see, the company has to have clear objectives in the area of sales, in the area of operations, execution, in the area of estimating, pre-construction, right? Pre-construction, in the area of finance. You want to have clarity of those goals. So when you have that clarity of the goals, you define your organizational structure. And your organizational structure, the person that is in that role is supposed to get clarity on the revenue goals, whatever goals, profitability goals, and get to that place. That's why it's important to having the right people. You want to have the skills, but they also have to have the ability to score an A. So I used to hire just on a conversation, and yes, there's a lot of things online that you find to help you select the right person. But for me, what worked was having clarity on a scorecard. And I used the scorecard to interview, because you often have hire people that they are really good salespeople and they tell you what you want to hear. And you accept that. You basically probably even are you the one that talks the most in the interview. But instead, you want to find a way to ask the right questions and ask the person that is a project manager or a superintendent, how do you get this done? How do you get this revenue done? How do you make it happen? How do you take this company from here to here? What needs to happen? Because people talk a lot about that they can do it and they're good, but they really don't prove it. They don't articulate how will that happen. And by then, you chose to hire the wrong person. And you find out months later that they're not the right people. But by the time you find out, they are already on a project. And it's hard to let them go because you are in the belief that this person already has a relationship with the client. You see, I have nothing against the person called project manager or superintendent. I love people. I really love people and I want to see people successful. This is why I'm doing this. Because I love seeing people that have the potential to get there. But often we as entrepreneurs, we see potential, and we see us in the body or the face of the person that we're interviewing, and we feel that they can do it, and we hire to make them, to give them the opportunity. But many, many times you find out that it was a wrong hire. And then it feels like you're stuck and you're dragging people across the finish line. If it was one, fine, but it's never one. If that's how you hire and you don't have a system to hire, you probably will have a lot of people in your company that are going to cost you an amount of money that will never give you the return on your money. Your money probably does better in the stock market than in your business because it's not generating a return. And then following up with people to make it happen, it's not that easy if you don't have the right managers in place. Plus, it takes time and energy. Soon you find yourself that you're at 3 o'clock at night waking up thinking about this person that should be doing this and should be doing that. So people will never solve your problems. The wrong people. The right people, oh my gosh, you can go to war with them. Now, the next one that is important is culture. You want to have a culture of accountability, I would say. If you create scorecards, that means that you have clarity as to what does it take to score an A for every role in your company. What's the journey to get there? You have to build culture because culture, Peter Drucker said, culture is strategy for breakfast. You can have the best schedule, the best plan, the best strategic plan, but if you don't have the right people to execute, especially in an industry like ours, that is very tough and very unforgiving when a mistake happens. If you don't have the right people that are hungry to do it right, that are hungry to score an A, like I said, that are hungry to finish on time and on budget, and that are determined, it's a better word, to finish, and they will do absolutely whatever is necessary in order to finish on time and on budget with absolute quality. It's very hard because you cannot be everywhere. But if you invest the time in selecting the right people and building the right culture, then the people that are good for your company are going to flourish. And if somebody comes in that don't belong to this culture, they it's going to be easy to it's going to flourish. It's going to surface. I may say surface is a better word. It's going to surface. And the same people that are in the company are going to reject this person. You see, our industry has a lot of stress and a lot of people with a lot of stress for a lot of reasons. We can talk about that later. We'll talk about that in the mindset chapter. But if you have the right people, it's so much better. If you have the right culture, a culture of accountability where we are okay and happy to understand what we're doing right and what we could do better. A culture of accountability is one that doesn't mind having goals. A culture of accountability is one that doesn't mind to be measured. They actually, people that are the right people with a culture of accountability, they want to be measured because they know their progress for them and for the company is more objective. You're measuring with a scoreboard. You're measuring how is the game going. And people in that in with that kind of culture, they like to be clear about what they want and what they don't want. They like to be able to articulate it. They like to communicate. They are more assertive as well. they're more self-secure, and they don't talk behind your back. They don't like to gossip. It's more upfront. You're not talking behind people's back. You've developed a culture of trust, where people trust, and they can actually disagree among each other and create healthy discussions, because we are clear as to what's important and how to even win. It's hard to be successful on anything in life when there's no light. um, a culture of accountability is one that will have crucial conversations, and will talk to the client and say, you know Mr. Client, I'm responsible to finish this project on time and on budget, to follow the schedule that we have agreed upon, and to follow the contract that you created and we have agreed upon. So it's very important, Mr. Client, that I receive my answers on a timely manner, because time is of the essence in construction. Every minute counts. And I heard the other day that in the times we're living, speed matters. In construction, speed matters. And the fish that gets big is the one that has the most speed. So in our industry, being able to be clear, not disrespectful, because we love everyone. What we dislike many times is the behavior. And sometimes when we haven't trained our people with with a culture of accountability, we allow these gossips and we entertain them, and it's the worst thing you can do for your business. Gossip should never be allowed in your business, in your house. Transparency has to be the way to go. We might get uncomfortable with a situation. Maybe, like the other day, we were following up on our billing dashboard, and realized that we had a client that had not funded. Right? We had this, and we were told yes, yes, yes. I I picked up the phone, because for me, cash flow is very important. Very important. I have millions of reasons to follow up with it. But guess what? The client got upset because we were following up. And I'm not talking the client, the head person, but the person that was in charge of the job. And they said, like, oh my gosh, you're gonna make such a big mess about not receiving your funding. And there's people that manage projects they think like that. You're gonna make a big deal about a change order. Is that the attitude that you're gonna take? And people try to manipulate you, but never allow that. It's very easy to let the person know that this is a contract you have, and getting this done now, this answer done now, is gonna help you and I both. It's gonna help the end user. And we are here to make money. Some people don't like that. Anyways, I say that to say that a culture of accountability helps clarify all these problems, all these misunderstandings, and these behaviors that sometimes are present in some teams, whether it's from the client or not, it feels like you're doing something wrong when you're looking for your money, or when you're looking for an answer. People don't know how to address that sometimes, because there's people in position of power. But the power is the contract. The power is in the specs. The power is in gaining clarity as to what's required taking the steps, taking action, and as soon as you have to, clear conversations. And if you feel intimidated by that, that's an opportunity for us to grow emotionally. There's always a way to have a conversation, especially when you know that you are entitled to have to get money, to get paid, to the agreements that are already in the contract. This is something that you don't even have to figure out along the project. Okay, number 3, as a business owner, you want to, now that you have the right people, now that you define the culture, you took the time to see what's valuable in your business, what you value, how do we behave as a group. Now you want to make sure that you have a process for the team to be successful. Everyone in the team needs to understand how to be successful. What I mean by that, you want to have a process, you want to have systems that are scalable, and some things that are in automation. Now that we're living this era of AI and technology, it's never been easier. So getting behind technology, automation, it's crucial. But in order to get there, you have to invest time in creating your workflows. No system that you implement, whether it's Procore, Viewpoint, no system, no technology will operate right without the workflows. So if you don't know your process that defines success in your business, and you haven't taken the time to document these processes, you haven't taken the time to create a procedure and to train people, it's going to be so hard to scale. And I tell you this for experience. You know, if you hire people that do not like to train, if you hire people that don't like to follow processes, or even be part of the process of the team that creates processes, and the team that enhances processes, because processes, you create them one time, but you are continuously getting them better and better and better. If you have people that tell you, oh, if I have to stop to train, I better do it myself. Ah, that's a sign. That's a sign. Because this person is never going, it's gonna be hard for them to have a mindset that if I train more people, I am going to be able to generate more freedom and be able to scale to another position and scale the company. People don't take the time to document the procedures, create training videos. It's going to be very hard. You need to do that across your company. And the time to start is now. You don't want to wait. I mean, whenever you start is whenever you start. But if you have the right people, it's so much easier to take on these projects that are going to generate more profitability in your business. And how do you do it? You know, you take, whether it's in the estimating area, in the execution area, or in accounting, finance, you want to create, definitely hire people that like to operate on processes and like to train. But take the area that you believe is going to generate 80% of the results, and start there. Start with that area, and you'll see the impact that you're going to create. And record those trainings. Record them so you can have people that are listening to this without you. Make your trainings scalable. Get people clear goals and give people feedback. So much. We don't like to tell people what we don't like. People, I guess it's not that we don't like, we don't know how to do it. Some people that don't have a growth mindset culture, They tend to give feedback via criticism. Maybe because we were raised like that. And we have that way of criticizing. We don't know how to be grateful and appreciate our team, our people. And that is a venom. Appreciation and gratitude is one of the most important things in your culture. If you don't lead with appreciation and gratitude, it's going to be hard to correct people. But when you have spent enough time in seeing what they're the value and letting them know, when you have to give them feedback, it's going to feel super bad. If the only thing you do is criticize, it's going to feel super bad. So learning how to do this, it's a skill if you haven't acquired it. So I thought I could solve my problems with technology, with just hiring a bunch of people. And when somebody wasn't working, just hire more people behind this person. And that does not solve your problem. That only results in spending more money than you should. Hiring people that resource to blame instead of solving problems is not the culture that I want. I learned this the hard way, but now I'm committed. I've been committed to the right team, doing the hard work of developing processes and training to make sure that the team that arrives here is successful. And you probably have heard this. Be very, very, very slow to hire and quicker to fire. If you made a mistake, then document. You have to let people know what they're not doing according to your standards and what they are doing according to your standards. And it has to be documented. Unfortunately, I learned the hard way that many people do better when, I'm sorry about the phone, many people do better when they are told in writing what needs to be corrected, what is not so good, and what is good. They need to be measured. Uh, and they need to be told constructively how far away or close they are from the goal that was defined for them and for the company with clarity. No emotions, just appreciation. Appreciation for the human and appreciation for yourself. Don't be afraid to have crucial conversations. Sometimes we tell people, I'm going to close with this. Sometimes we tell our team, I need you to send a letter. That letter is important because we manage risk, right? Risk is expensive and it needs to be managed timely. I need you to, in that document in writing, that the payment hasn't arrived. And you see their face like a deer in a headlight. And it's not that they are, I learned this not too long ago, right? I just figured this out. And they hesitate. So I asked, what's your objection? And many times it's because they have a person on the other side that they feel is going to manipulate them and treat them bad because they're asking for what they're supposed to be asking. People sometimes don't know how to have crucial conversations. And I'll tell you, emotions run our lives and the lives of everyone in your company. So investing time to develop their mindset is very crucial as well. But when you send something in writing that they know will be part of their performance, that outcome is part of your performance and it will gonna count in your favor or against if it's in writing, the pain of talking to that person that they couldn't talk will become less pain than the pain of affecting their own performance, their capacity to make more money with you, and they will positively move towards that outcome that you want. Remember, people either move away from pain many times or towards pleasure. In construction, we are mostly turning away from pain. So document, let people know in writing how you want them to score an A. What does it mean in this company, in your company? And when they're not doing that, immediately let them know. Preferably in writing if the stakes are high. And if you see that you told them once and you told them twice and nothing is happening, document in writing. It will change the direction of the conversation the next time. I leave you with this, and I guarantee you, you focus on people, you focus on doing the right thing for them to be successful. And by that, I don't mean not telling them, not documenting. And your life will change. Do the hard work now, and it's going to change. It's going to give you the results in the bottom line. And if you want to hear more of this content, subscribe to the channel and get the book, Scaling Beyond the Blueprints, because we know the blueprints, but we might not know how to scale and reduce the stress that we have in our business. Have an amazing week. I see you until the next video.